like in the group. Okay, so we are live. Welcome EFTers. This is Brenda Kuby, aka the EFT Angel, and I'm joined today by Kate McHardy. Now, some of you will have known Kate from this group. She's been a prominent member from the start of this group, and she kindly lets me share these free EFT sessions into her University of Light group. But a lot of you probably don't know Kate, like we know Kate. So I've known Kate since we moved to Spain. She was a teacher at the school the kids went to, and I've seen Kate through lots of different journeys, and they are all interlinked with my own personal development. So I absolutely loved those journeys and continuing. And so it's great that I get to continue to work with Kate as we go along. So, Kate, tell us a bit more.
A bit more about me. Lovely to be here, Brenda. Thank you so much for inviting me and for sharing this this platform with me. It's lovely. A little bit more about me. Wow, I've been around quite a long time. So I've been around the block, as I put it, several times. And I suppose I've been working in this field for a long time. And although I'm not in Gibraltar at the moment, being stranded in UK because all the ferries back were cancelled. I first came to Gibraltar, 25, 26, maybe 27 years ago. And I've worked in and around Gibraltar in the field of holistic health, really on and off all that time. Some of you may even be familiar with my column and articles in Insight magazine, because I've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry,
Kate. I've really got into this EFT stuff and really got into sharing it with others, and that was the reason why I've created this group. This is a journey that was so fun, because you too, I mean, it was what, 20 years ago that you first got into EFT?
Well, the first time I would say I came across it.
Yeah.
Because in my journey through the different alternative health fields that I have been involved in over the years, I came across EFT, but it didn't do anything for me at the time. And this is one of the things I find really curious about being in this journey. It just didn't, I mean, I investigated it, I did some webinars and things, but it didn't really trigger me. And I've done the webinars with the Ortoners, whom you posted some information about on your own group recently.
Yeah.
Many times. And it's never done anything for me until this year, until February this year. And I think I messaged you and said to you actually that I was really enjoying it, because I knew you had trained in EFT. And my goodness, did it speak to me? Did it speak to me? I must have spent hours over the 10 days listening to the information and following the podcast. And then, of course, look what happens. This whole world crisis happened, and here we are. And I'm so glad that I was guided to do the tapping at that point, because, well, we're in a whole different place now. The rest is history kind of thing, you know. And I had no idea when I was doing the tapping in February this was going to come round. But the lovely thing was that I knew about it, so it wasn't a new experience for me. The new experience was the effect it had. And my God, incredible.
Yeah, incredible. And so tell us more about what you're doing with tapping now.
Okay, well, dog barking. So what am I doing with tapping? Well, funny thing is that along the way, because the lockdown happened, and of course schools are all closed, and people are home educating their children. So a few people asked me if I would be willing to help them out, because schools are great, schools are sending information, but parents haven't a clue what to do with it, and they've got children at home all day long, and they're trying terribly hard to stick to the information that's coming on their apps from schools, but it's really hard to focus. So starting with people that I know, people got on to me and said, would you be willing to help us out and do maybe just a short lesson a week with the children? So I did, and that's grown, and I've got quite a few children that I'm now working with, and I've learned how to work Zoom, which is a good one. My God, the brain cells are constantly being energized. And because I had done the tapping, I decided to look into doing tapping with some of these children because of the situation. And so I did, and I came across, I can give links to some really interesting things on YouTube, but also because I am a teacher and I've worked a lot with children, and I've worked with, the mind work and holistic health practices anyway, I put a package together. And so I do it with the children on Zoom. I came across some lovely songs and books on the website, and I bought them, downloaded them, and I've been basing the work I've been doing on those. So it's sing along with children, and it's colour coded, and it's lovely, and it's quick, and it's effective.
And is it, what age group are you working with?
The particular age group I'm working with at the moment are between 4 and 7. Right. I've got another coming on board this week who are 10, year 5, 10 age, and so I'm going to be doing it with them. The basis is the same idea. It's just like anything else we do with children. You kind of change the approach depending on the age group. So with the little ones, it's all colouring, dancing and singing, and it will be the same with the older ones, but on a slightly more mature level.
Right. Okay. So do you
you do the actions and
tell us a little bit of what you would do with them?
Love to. Okay, so obviously, first of all, we engage with the child. So when I am doing, say, a 20-minute or a half-hour session, I will sometimes start off doing a little story, an ebook story to engage, okay? Yeah. And then I will introduce them to 3 characters that are on this program that I've been working with. And then I teach them colours, and I do it with the ebook on shared screen, so they can actually see the colours and see the characters in the ebook. And then I teach them the different points, okay? And the different points all have colours. So we've got purple, blue, green, orange, etc., as we go around the point. So then you'll do, here's a quickie, for example. You start like this. You'll start going, I am free being me. Let me take my glasses off. I am free being me. I'm a happy child. I am free being me. I'm a happy child. I deeply and completely love myself.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah, it's fabulous. The other thing I do with the children is I tell them to practice at home with their parents, so the whole family get the tapping.
Fantastic. That is so good, because that is the thing. This tapping is so easy that it can, should be done as a family. I really believe that I think that it should, come into play with, with families, that we should, from young, and I think this, I was talking with sort of like a holistic midwife recently, and all about, how the, how touching is so important for babies, and that, she, when she's teaching parents how to, be interacting with, especially maybe mothers who have gone through cesareans or, stress, whatever. She said it's really important that, just getting them to tap on, on these babies and on themselves. And if they get into that routine when they're little, it becomes second nature. And, also, kids don't have that fear that we as adults have of looking stupid. So kids are quite, they're very open to doing things like that. And they're very touchy-feely. It's as they get older, and it's kind of frowned upon for them to be so touchy-feely that they stop. So, society dictates that they have to stop being so touchy-feely.
I know.
It's really silly, isn't it? I mean, it's, the power of a good hug, right? We know that the power to be and so the tapping is the same, because, and the way that you're doing it with the kids, I'm absolutely loving that. So
well, I love it as well, and I find that they do too. Funnily enough, some of the parents have been a bit reticent, like, I'm not sure. So I send them some information, send them some links, and one by one they got back to me and said, oh yes, please try it. That sounds really good.
Fantastic.
So but it's like you say, it's like the parents are the ones that are a bit reticent, not the children. The children just get right in there, Another thing I do with some of them as well is to actually draw a face.
Right.
And put the colours. I should have brought an example of this with me. But just literally draw a face, a head, and the colours on in felt pen on the points. So you would have the purple, the blue, the green, the etc., etc. And so they actually have a
great idea.
little thing to copy as well. So, and you can tackle all sorts of things. You can do things like I am neat when I sleep, I'm a happy child. I am strong all day long, I'm a happy child. So I can also target it to children's particular anxieties and issues. You can take their words and then put the words into the song. Right. So it's become a very personalised.
Yeah.
You can do the generic, but you can also do the personal. Maybe some children are having nightmares and difficulty sleeping.
Okay. And that's great, because they do. And I think if we can help them through a sort of holistic way, I mean, how fantastic is that? I mean, how utterly fantastic if we can help the kids through holistic manners and teaching them how to, doing that from an early age. And they set them up for when they become adolescents and they become, they have issues, they have stresses, they have exam pressures, they have, we're going through it with my daughter at the minute. This is her last week. She's got to have all her assignments in by Monday. So we're working on the last 2. But, the tapping is really helping her with her, to do it, because the other night she came to me and said, I can't do it.
Yeah, and it's so simple and so quick. This I think is one of the great beauties about it. It's so simple and so effective. Yeah. And it's not you don't have to set yourself down for half an hour. Once you get into the rhythm and you know these tapping points, you can do it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You can actually stop.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was teaching people with who were having anxiety, going for interviews or things, or about tapping on here.
Yeah.
Doing that under the table, and people don't have, people don't see them doing that. So I think that's really the important thing as well, of having that. So, okay, how do these sessions work? Tell me.
Well, I do them on Zoom. I probably can do them in other mediums, but I've just been using Zoom because I find it so simple once you've downloaded it. And basically I set aside 15 minutes or half an hour, and we have an introduction beforehand, and then we set up the time, and I will then send an invite with a link for them to click on, and we come on the screen. And I generally start off with, the very first introduction, the very first sort of session, I will read a short story with an ebook, and that's a way of introducing me to the child, but the child also to me, and I can then gauge where the child's level of concentration is likely to be, what's maybe the best kind of angle to come in at it, because of course they're all different and they're all dealing with different things. And then I tell them the song, I show them the ebook as well, and I talk them through it. So I show them the rainbow colours, I explain how you do it, and we have a nice little, chat over the different points and how they work and the different colours. And then I teach them the first verse, which is the very simple one, I am free, being me, I'm a happy child, which is very subliminal message, actually. It's very simple, and it is simple, but it's very subliminal. And it actually targets all sorts of different things that children deal with, dealing with fear, feeling insecure, all the fears that lots of children have, needing to be good enough, even at the ages of 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, there's big feelings of needing to be good enough. I tell you, a lot of this homeschooling, while it's very, very difficult, there's a lot of good coming from it as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the good things, sorry, that phone's just going off. I think there's a lot of good that's going to come from this time at the moment.
I do as well. I do as well.
I'm very positive about the whole thing, so I can't complain about it. So,
yes, and so what sorry.
Turn that off. Keep talking, Kate.
What I was going to say was also that once I've started working with a child and maybe into the second or third session, once they're confident and they're enjoying what they're doing, children being children, they will then tell me.
Yes.
They'll tell me, So I don't have to be trying to fish around and find out. I mean, I might give obviously a little bit of nudge here and there, but children will come up, they'll just come out and tell you. They'll even say, I'm bored.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know.
I am bored. I'm a happy child. So you just take whatever's coming from them and turn it into something positive that they can then enjoy.
Fantastic.
So it would be lovely, as I said, to think to you the other day, to have children tapping round the rock.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's something we should be looking at. Okay, Kate. So tell me, how can people contact you to get their tapping?
Well, they can contact me initially by looking Kate McHardy on Facebook and just sending me a private message. And if they want to go to my University of Light group, they could do the same thing on there. I'm looking to setting up a Facebook group about children and tapping. I haven't done that yet because, like everything else in this world, this has all come really quickly. You know, weeks ago I wasn't doing tapping with children on Zoom. It's all grown like whoomp, you know. But I think it would be really nice to have an actual private Facebook group,
right?
So that where people can actually find me on there and I can find them on there, and it's also private, so they can share questions and we can share things together without the wider world being party to it. And I think that's a confidentiality, a very important aspect.
Now, when you get that set up, what we'll do is we can pop that into this group. So those that have joined us live here, I know Natalie and Kerry have been on here, and Debbie tried but couldn't. But I know that once they've, others will watch it later on the recording. So that when people will post the link in once you've got the group set up, so they can do that. And, if anybody wants to get in contact with Kate, you can see she's always commenting on the post. So you can search her in the group and you can find her. Or if you're still having trouble, then message me and I'll put you in touch with her.
Absolutely.
Kate, these sessions, how much are these sessions for the kids?
Well, I've got a sort of different way of, depending on exactly what it is we're doing, but basically I think I would be charging £5 for a session.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Value.
And it's roughly 15 minutes, but I always allow slightly more. I always sort of set aside 20 minutes in my schedule, because 10 to 15 minutes is quite enough to be working with the child in a tapping session, but there's always a bit of overlap either end, and it's nice to have that flexibility.
Excellent. All right, Kate, thank you so much for being our first guest interview. We will be doing more guest interviews, talking about various different things within tapping, and we will be talking about other points, tapping points as well. So moving forward, obviously, this group is the 30-day Fear to Fab, so we've got another couple of days after this, and then we will be starting May's topic, which is limiting beliefs, and that will be in a separate group. But what I'm planning on doing is coming into this group on a regular basis, because we'll be getting new people joining, and we'll probably do at least once a week a live tap, or maybe once a week a live tap as well. So we're going to keep it going and keep it live for everybody, and anybody who's got questions about tapping, we're going to use the group as the sort of like the mover group, and then people can move into the other sessions that we've got going. So
perfect, lovely.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
Brenda, and thank you for your whole group. Thank you for all that you're doing. It's a wonderful start to the day. I love it. It's a wonderful start to the day, and you're opening up, you're giving so much, and you're opening up so much, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, guys. Lovely for those who have joined us. Thank you so much, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Bye.